Hello everyone, welcome to Study IQIS English channel. I am your educator Praveen Mishra and we are going to study today about another hot topic that is burning in the newspapers from day to night. So as you can see on your screens about an image of the Chief Minister of Assam, that is Himanta Biswa Sarma, and another name, another word mentioned here as well, that is AFSPA, Armed Forces Special Powers Act. A special power act given to armed forces, which has provided not much, but yes, some indeed of the crisis. Some of those things that are nowhere justified, some are those things that have provided a big black spot over the civilized society of our country. So the fact is here, that is AFSPA. It has been under surveillance for being inhuman, for being violating the fundamental rights or the human rights of the citizens. Right claims or wrong, these are a subject to the judicial scrutiny, and be not the judges here. Let's be not the judges here. Okay. So there have been concerns, there have been news, there have been many of the incidences where people from the areas, they have criticized AFSPA of being too much inhuman, and it's very much irregular as well as unethical or illegal use. Once again, stating the very same thing here, whether the claims are right, whether the claims are wrong, it's a subject to judicial scrutiny, and let's be not the judges here, let's be not the courts here. Okay, let's just discuss what's the news is, and what's the relevance of it with regard to our UPSC CSE. Okay, so the statement that has come is something relieving for majority of the masses in the state of Assam, that is AFSPA withdrawn from Dibrugarh, and now Assam is having only 3 districts under the purview of AFSPA, being Tinsukia, Sivsagar and Charaideo. Okay, so only these 3 districts are there in Assam now that are under the purview of AFSPA, and one of the very bigger area, very bigger district, and a very district with economic importance as well, that is Dibrugarh, is now also free from AFSPA. So coming here to the facts, the incidences. As what we can see, the state of Assam, that is, was declared a disturbed area under the AFSPA on the intervening night of November 27 and 28 in the 1990 in the wake of violence by ULFA. ULFA as in United Liberation Front of Assam, not Assam, Assam. See, I'm not trying to justify any act, neither I'm trying to be biased or prejudiced towards any organization or a community. I'm just trying to be as much as honest, as much as factual. The fact here is ULFA, which has been often criticized of being too violent, which has been often criticized of being a militant group. Yes, no doubt in that. It was a militant group. But the fact is, the demands of the people, it was around April 7, 1979, when 3 people from Assam, named as Paresh, then apart from that, there was another person named Arun, and apart from that, there was another name, Arvinda. The 3 people locally from Assam, they gathered together and met, and they created the United Liberation Front of Assam. Not Assam, make it clear, it is Assam, ASOM. So the date of April 7, 1979 has been marked as an establishment of a very strong, rigid and a violent militant group known as ULFA. Why? Because just they stated that Assam is neglected by the central government. It was their opinion, it was their point of view, that the resources of Assam has been used for the other perspectives, for the other areas only, and Assam, which should get a good contribution because of its natural exploitation of its resources, but the central government has been ignorant over it, and hence these people took arms. Yes, the Naxalbari movement that started just in the adjoining area of West Bengal provided a much needed boost to the ULFA movement. But the fact here is, no militant group is justified at any cost, whether even their demands are right. Even if your demands are right, but when you opt for the violent means, then by default your demands also become illegal. And that was the mistake, I would take the word here, committed by the people, the very famous people in the state of Assam still today, that is Paresh Barua, Arbinda and Anup Chetia. Right. So these were the people, those who were initially applauded as one of the champions of the demands of the Assamese people, but their activities later on were only the headache or the trouble for the Assamese people itself. And hence, the people also, they were now demanding that yes, this ongoing tussle between the ULFA and the state government as well as the central government should be stopped. And one such night, that is on the night of 27th of November 1990, the violence took a very cruel and a very deadly face, and the central government was compelled to invoke AFSPA, that is Armed Forces Special Powers Act, into the state of Assam and declare it under Section 3 of the AFSPA Act as the disturbed area. Right? So what are the key facts that we need to discuss? AFSPA, with regard to just and just AFSPA. The British colonial government had on 15th August 1942 promulgated the Armed Forces Special Powers Ordinance to suppress the Quit India movement. It was a draconian law which took its motivation from 1919 Act, because of which Jallianwala massacre happened, that is known as the Rowlatt Act. See the next thing here. It was the foundation for 4 other ordinances, including one for the Assam disturbed areas invoked in 1947 to deal with the partition-induced internal security challenge. The Armed Forces Assam and Manipur Special Powers Act 1958, followed by the Assam Disturbed Areas Act of 1955 to deal with the uprising in the Naga Hills and the adjoining areas. And the last point here. The Act was replaced by AFSPA for a wider application, and similar act specific to Jammu and Kashmir was enacted in 1990. So this is what the timeline for AFSPA has been. See, I would just like to quote here that Assam, it is the state of India which has been troubled a lot because of the insurgencies, specifically from illegal insurgencies, I must quote here, specifically from the countries of Bangladesh, Myanmar. During the time period of 1971, when the Bangladesh Liberation War happened, many of the migrants, they flew from Bangladesh and they settled in the adjoining states of India, that is West Bengal, Odisha, Assam and Tripura. And still today what we are watching is the ongoing crisis in the states, in the very beautiful states of our Northeast. Our Northeast is this, that is what we must mention each and every time. The biggest ache, the biggest pain inside our Northeast is because of the illegal insurgency, specifically from Bangladeshis and Myanmars, right? So the growth is tempered because of this. The development is hampered because of this. The too much of the capping has been done towards the communities, the local communities. That is why what we are watching, the violence in Manipur, is not an immediate event. It is a cascading effect that has happened because of the decades old drain of wealth and resources from our Northeast that has been flushed out, not just from the territory of the state, but from the territory of the country as well. And it has become a breeding ground as well for another big event, another big negative violent event that could happen if we don't take action right now, right? So Assam, once again, a community, a particular state with wonderful communities, with wonderful people, wonderful landscapes, rich cultural history. They have got some wonderful traditions they have got, including one of the most wonderful or one of the most applauded globally, that is the Satariyas. The Satariya dance, the Satariya music, the whole Satariya community invoked by Adi Shankaracharya. He was the one, right? Saint Shankaracharya, we can say. So the state of Assam no doubt has got good resources, natural resources, community resources, but still it was troubled, and one such organization's name was ULFA, Okay, and in order to tackle Ulfa, there was something that is known as AFSPA. That is what you have just read. Okay, so as you can see, the AFSPA gives unbridled power, that is uncapped power, to the armed forces and the central armed police deployed in the disturbed areas as specified under the act to kill anyone acting in contravention of law without any death warrant. Apart from that, arrest anyone without any arrest warrant and search any premises without any search warrant. This is what was mentioned in the Rowlatt Act. So was the AFSPA, that is of 1942, made by the British, and so is the 1958. Okay. The state and union government, see this factor very important, can issue notification regarding the AFSPA. For the states of Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland, the MHA issues Nagaland and Arunachal only, not Assam. Okay. MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs, issued disturbed areas notifications. But for the other areas, that is apart from Nagaland and Arunachal, okay, disturbed areas notification can be issued by the central government as well as the state government. But specifically for the states of Arunachal and Nagaland, okay, the disturbed area notification is issued by just the central government's wing, that is the Ministry of Home Affairs. Next thing. Disturbed areas described under AFSPA. What are the disturbed areas that are described, okay, through the AFSPA? So the act was amended in 1972 and the power to declare an area as disturbed were conferred concurrently upon the central government as well as the state governments. But there is a catch here. Disturbed areas can be declared by central governments and state governments throughout the territory of India except the states of Nagaland and Arunachal. And for Nagaland and Arunachal, the exclusive powers are centered into the hands of Ministry of Home Affairs, that is simply the center. Okay, and see the next thing here, a disturbed area is one that is declared by notification under Section 3 of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. It can be invoked in the places where the use of armed forces in aid of civil power is necessary. See, just one thing I would just like to quote here. Whether the AFSPA has been used illegally or irregularities have been there or not. There have been much instances, much news is there rolling all over the newspapers and the print media, social media as well. But once again, let's not be the judges. Let the judiciary decide whether the AFSPA has been misused or not. Okay. So coming to the facts here, once declared disturbed, the region is maintained as disturbed for a period of 3 months continuously. Okay, 3 months straight according to the Disturbed Areas Special Courts Act of the 1976. So once it is disturbed, it will be considered disturbed for the upcoming straight 3 months. Okay, and the government of the state can suggest whether the act is required in the state or not. The state government is always taken into the consultation. Further, the last thing that we need to discuss, currently the Union Home Ministry issues periodic disturbed area notification to the extended AFSPA only for Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh, and in any other state if AFSPA is to be applied, then in that case simply state government is also playing a vital role. Okay guys, so I believe everything is crystal clear here, and that's it from my side in this session. I hope you have liked it. In case you do, please hit the like button as well, and in case you haven't subscribed for our Study IQ IAS English channel, please do subscribe it as well. And what's your opinion on AFSPA? Whether it's needed or not, and do you have any clear instances on the misuse or irregularities in the AFSPA? So please do mention it into the comment section and we shall discuss it over in the very next sessions. Okay guys, thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next session. Take care. Study well. Jai Hind.